Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for joining me here back with my playthrough of Endwalker. I get the feeling that we are nearing, maybe not to the end of the story, but we're getting there. I think that we should be reaching the next, we gotta be reaching the next trial soon. So judging from Shadowbringers, using that kind of as a base for it, I would say that we're probably... Yeah, so we're probably where we are with Kalusha. Like after Volfrey escaped, we're trying to get our way up into Mount Golg so that we can face him. So I feel like we're kind of around that level, give or take. So that's just my best bet. Which means that we would be nearing the end of the story in that case. So we're more than halfway there. Let's just say that. I would say 3/4 of the way there, or something like that. Anyway, if you remember last time, we ended up running around Labyrinthos, we showed the Loporrits around, we had the most adorable scene with Urianger and Moonbreeda's parents, and they don't blame him at all what happened. I really don't think it was his fault to begin with, so I don't know why he blamed himself for that, but I think it was really good for him because I think he was carrying around a lot of guilt that it wasn't healthy for him, but I think now he finally has a chance to grieve for his old friend properly. So that's kind of where we left off, so we're going to pick up immediately from there. So here we are back in Labyrinthos. And the new quest is called Hither and Yarns. Thou hast my gratitude for lending courage to the Loporrits. Not disposed to rest on their laurels, several of our guests have elected to accompany my countrymen to their stations. Some few may still come hither seeking counsel, and so I shall remain to aid them as needs be. If thou art needed elsewhere, do not let me detain thee. As a matter of fact, I was hoping you might check on Alize. Last I saw, she was struggling to carry an enormous pile of boxes out the west gate. I could go myself, but we both know whose help she's less like to scorn. Not to mention, much to my misfortune, I can think of several other things I ought to be doing. Till later. Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious. So, let's see. Just over there. But I think that, I mean, it's pretty obvious, like, how much Alize looks up to the Warrior of Light, and it really is, like, I don't know why she would think that no one notices, because I kind of get the impression that nobody else does know and they're not supposed to know, but she doesn't make it easy. Well, she makes it easy, but I don't know, it's adorable. So, heading out this way. So, okay, the gate's right here then. It really is adorable that she has such a big crush on the Warrior of Light. It doesn't matter male or female. I like that whole idea. But it's hard to tell if it's like a older sibling kind of admiration or maybe like romance feelings. Is it more platonic? It's whatever the player wants to be, I guess. So there she is. Carrying all these on your own? What the heck's in there? Claire, what are you doing out here? No, I don't mind if you help with the boxes, but it's far from the most exciting of tasks, are you sure? Well, it's not like I got anything else to do. Well, I appreciate the assistance. We need to get these to Aparora. Time is short, of course, but they're full of organic specimens and samples, so try not to be too rough with them. Alpino should be waiting for us when we arrive. I'll see you there. Okay, deliver the crate of samples. You have 3 minutes to complete the tasks. So we get just the one little crate, and she's left with those 3 big heavy boxes. Like, well, it was her task originally. We're just lending a hand. So we should be nearing the 3rd aetheryte. So I have no idea how this is all gonna shape up. Like, I mean, I know that we're going to be helping them with the ether burn. Oh, that's right. The others are still coming with all that material to help the ether burner, which means that we should be able to speak with Hydaelyn. Oh no. I don't like this whole idea. I don't want to fight with Hydaelyn after learning all that. Oh, you're helping with the crates. Wonderful. You can put that there with the others. You have my gratitude, but how did you come to be involved in this? Same way I'm always involved in it. I suppose I have Thancred to thank as well. If you're wondering why we're being tasked with bringing these boxes to Apora to begin with, so was I. Turns out that this is the base of operations, of sorts. Those with final say as to what is included in the ship's manifest can be found here. Father included, I suspect. That should be everything. You carried all that at once? Are you trying to injure yourself? Oh, hush, they're lighter than they look, and not everyone has your delicate arms. I suppose we should let someone know that we're finished. Theopolden is in the courtyard. We can report to him. Why don't you come along? You should get credit for your assistance, at least. Considering where we are, we might even learn something interesting. And off she goes. Yeah, Alphino is just long since given up. It's like, what can you do? Might as well. So let's look around here, see what we can find. Let's see who this guy is. I have no idea who he is. I hope the sun rises soon. I don't like doing quests in the dark. Okay, so this should be all of them then. This must be Theopolden. How could you tell? I keep thinking that I've seen him elsewhere, but I cannot for the life of me remember when. God, it never ends, does it? Oh, what can I do for you? We brought samples from Charlie and Hamlet's, Series 110. The crates are by the entrance. Ah, thank you. I'd expected one of my colleagues, but we are dreadfully short-handed. Just a moment. You're Fourchenault's children, are you not? Alphino and Alize at your service. You're well acquainted with Father, I take it. Quite. I've been friends with your parents since our days at the studium. I remember when you were nigh-high, waddling hither and thither. Clearly, it's been quite some time since we've met. 'Tis good to see you again, wielding your father's Noroliths, no less. You knew our parents when they were young? What were they like? Pray, spare no detail. I should like nothing more than to regale you. Alas, I am meant to be in charge here, and realms of paperwork want for submission. We can help with that, in exchange for the sort of stories our parents would never willingly diverge, of course. Very well then. There happens to be 3 sets of documents in need of delivery, so how about you each take one? Wait right here. You will find a foreign representative waiting to collect these near the southernmost structure. I hope I haven't kept her waiting too long. Never mind Alphino and Alize. I'm certain they'll be back soon enough. Seriously, why do they need paperwork? It's not that difficult to just load specimens onto a ship. I don't get it. I do not get it. And where am I going? I have no idea. I'm just wandering around until I find them. It's worked for me so far. There, see? Are you not one of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn? I thought you were meant to be working on the ether burner. We are, lady. Jeez. Theopolden paperwork. I was beginning to worry that he misplaced his quill. I appreciate your help in seeing these documents to my hands at last. As for your other task, pray keep this between us, but I certainly hope you Scions succeed. The Exodus is, without a doubt, the most monumental undertaking in the history of the Forum, and so we must be circumspect in all respects. Risk is a privilege we cannot afford ourselves. At its heart, however, Charlene has ever been a nation of the curious. It could be a tragedy indeed if we were the ones to stomach your pursuit of truth. So she doesn't want us to fail. I'm assuming a lot of people want the same, though, so it's not really a surprise. Okay. Quick and effective. I dare say you have a talent for this work. The twins' papers only needed to be delivered to elsewhere in the facility, so they should be returning any moment. We return with not a scrap of paperwork remaining on our persons, you will note. You both have my thanks and my apologies for sending you on an errand far below your ambitions. Why, even as a babe, you struggled out of your swaddling clothes and... That is quite enough of that, thank you. It was compromising stories of our parents that we asked to hear, to reiterate. Of course, I've known your father for so long, I must have something. Well, as you know, part of why the Levier's name garners such respect in Charlian is your family's storied history. You two can trace your ancestry directly to those who came aboard Nerokrem's Hope, a lineage few can claim. Never thought much of it myself. It's not as though our forebears founded our nation. They were simply there when it happened. Nevertheless, it has traditionally been a point of pride. That's why Nerokrem's profoundments renounce the ways of war and pursued enlightenment through knowledge and reason has ever been our family's creed. So your grandfather's time, aye. Archon Louisoix looked not to Nerokrem's words, but his deeds. He asserted in defiance of his peers that choosing to save the great and the small from the rising tides was the true mark of our founder's virtue. Ah, I like that. Perhaps it was his expertise, his knowledge of ancient prophecy and the fall of civilizations that led him to conclude that to eschew conflict at every turn was to consign mankind to his doom. There will ever be conflict, and calamity will follow. Thus, to ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. Remember his words well. Indeed, Archon Louisoix lived by that personal creed, and used every means at his disposal to bring succor to those in need, Charlian or no. No one loved and admired your grandfather more than his son. Yet Fourchenault could not reconcile Louisoix's deeds with the philosophy of their forebears and his peers, a philosophy in which he believed so fervently, yet made a pariah of his father. Fourchenault agonized over this contradiction for much of his life. Really? God's father. A son may carry his father's blood, but his choices are his own to bear. Is it not always thus? Gods know Fourchenault a cranky old goat, so I'm sure you butt heads often enough. Even so, you must know that you are constantly in his thoughts, every moment of every day, and that is not an exaggeration in the slightest. You should have seen him when you were born, barely recognizable. He was with a kind of dumbfounded grin I've not seen since he first took a fancy to your mother. He was practically skipping when he told me the news. Really? Take my word for it, he loves you to an embarrassing degree. But he is also frustratingly single-minded. Once he's decided that a given action is for the best, he will stay the course no matter who or what opposes him. Profound annoying habit when you're on the other end of it, as I'm sure you will agree. I'll say, thank you for your insights. When we next meet our parents, I shall mention that we spoke. Try not to get me in too much trouble now. I need the forum on my side. Speaking of which, I ought to be getting back to work. I have to make sure those specimens you brought make it to their proper places, or the cranky old goat will have my hide. We can speak again later. So, that's interesting. A little bit more information on Fourchenault. Hail, you three. Who is this now? Ooh, Graha! Graha, surely Kokol hasn't driven you out of the forge already? For better or for worse, no. However, he has sent me a task that requires more than a single pair of hands, and here you are. I could use at least one of you, but I won't object to more. Unfortunately, Alize and I have prior commitments, and we have delayed too long as it is. What about you, Claire? Can you spare the time? Well, it's not like I got anything else going on. Perfect. This shouldn't take long. Much as I like to press Theopolden for more revealing tidbits, we should be getting back to our tasks. It's strange to hear Father spoken of in such a way, but I suppose he would find your view of me no less odd. Hey, once forged, an unspecified task awaits you. In the event that our, and I quote, promised help of Ammonite falls right out of the bloody sky and into my lap, Master Kokoro wishes to be ready to put the proverbial hammer to anvil at the moment's notice. I like this guy more and more. To fabricate these parts, however, he needs the flames in Kokoro's forge to burn hotter. He sent me to increase the amount of ether being funneled to his furnaces. The flow of fire-aspected ether in Labyrinthos is regulated by an elemental reactor south of here, to which I have borrowed the key. The adjustments will require 2 people to carry out safely, but I can explain the process when we arrive. So where we part ways then. We'll see you in Charlene Hamlet once the Adamite arrives, if not before. This way then? Can't wait to see what this is. But seriously, how long are we just going to be doing chores right now? I wanted to see if I could run over that bush, and I couldn't. I mean, I like doing like little quests like this once in a while, but yeah, I just get the feeling that just trying to draw this out for as long as possible and giving us chores, so you know that it gives them time to collect the Adamant and not make them immediately show up a few minutes later. Like, there we go, I mean, it's been 3 days, I don't know if you've noticed, or something like that, I don't know. We'll find out. Reactor is housed within this facility. I keep saying wanting to say faculty. I'll be the one to go inside and adjust the fire ether outputs. When I do, a rather large amount of water-aspected ether will issue from the vent at the top. I expect this to attract at least a few elementals, which we would both rather not be drawn into the reactor itself, trust me. Yeah, otherwise it might blow up. Can I ask that you put down any that draw too near? They'll pose you little trouble, I'm sure. Wait here if you would. I just realized something. If we save the world, which I'm pretty sure we will, all of this work would have been for nothing. Seriously, like, we're just taking all this stuff, moving it here, doing a lot of paperwork, getting the forges ready and all that stuff. Is there really going to be a point once we're done? They'll just have to undo it all. They'll have to take everything back. Oh, that's not mine. These two are mine. I think these kind of creatures, they're beautiful, but they kind of freak me out. They just don't look natural. They're not natural. But at the same time, I'm oddly intrigued by them. Everything go smoothly out here? I thought as much. No major complications to speak of inside either. And the water ether appears to be ventilating properly. I expect Coco will have seen a difference in his forge flames by the time I return. Since I have you, there was another matter I ought to discuss with you. Okay. Please feel free to share, I'm quite curious. Nothing terribly important, merely something I've been considering. Part of this I share with everyone, yet you and only you have been to Elpis. As we have established, refined adamantite is a product of Alug, of the Empire's twilight years in fact. It's a material which saw much use as part of the Allagun's efforts to extend beyond the bounds of this world, Dalamud, of course, being the most prominent. Of those who would push further, expand Allug's empire to encompass the heavens and the stars above, perhaps the greatest was its infamous technologist, Amant. Ah. Interesting. So even after being reborn, he still wanted to explore the Sea of Stars. He did. He must have had his own reasons, however, for there is no evidence to suggest that he retained memories of his life as an ancient. I doubt it, but he only joined the Ascians once the Empire was all but dust, as you know. Not for his memory, though. What drove him to pursue the idea with such fervor? This may seem far-fetched, but what if its souls, like minds, have a personality, so to speak? A natural disposition towards which they are inclined? We know with relative certainty that it was the gross decadence and inexorable decline of Alug that moved Amon to resurrect Emperor Xande. The Emperor's people spoke highly of death and destruction, experimenting on those they deemed beneath them to fill the emptiness in their hearts. Facilitating Xande's return, Amon provided these languished souls with the means to free themselves from the mire of their own indolence. Or would have, had not Xande been convinced by his own death that life itself was meaningless. Amon's desire for his countrymen to conquer the heavens could only be a means to the same end, to instill the people with new purpose. Like Hermes before him, Amon was appalled by how those around him lived, but could never bring himself to believe that those lives were devoid of meaning. Both of them sought that meaning, that hope, in the distant stars. Such is my theory, anyway. I have a feeling you're right. Ultimately, it is the consequence of their actions which matter. Their motives are of no moment, and yet... to reach those stars on wings of adamantite, to travel to the ends of creation and beyond, the promise of hope everlasting, that much I do understand. Enough music for now. Why don't we see how Kokoro is getting on? That's food for thought. I have a feeling that he's right. I really do. And I really wish this music would end. It's becoming annoying. I mean, I don't mind this music once in a while, but it's been going constantly. I mean, as annoying as the Labyrintho's usual music is, I'd rather have that now, because it's different. There's so many quests I can't see. Oh, damn, it's all the way down there. Alright, let's go. But yeah, I think maybe souls do have a kind of, maybe not a personality, but maybe like some kind of leftover interest, maybe? Because that would explain the Warrior of Light here, because she's the incarnation, the latest incarnation of Azem, and Azem was the traveler, the wanderer. She loved traveling the world and helping people, so that's just, it's kind of like you inherit it. It's like you inherit that will. If you're a One Piece fan like I am, then you know that there are certain characters that kind of inherit the wills of others. So I guess it's something like that. Oh, typical. My road is blocked by giant monsters. Living crystals? Why would anyone want living crystals? That is not a good idea. Okay, where are we now? Tiny little village. Phew, I can feel those flames ablazing from here. Glad you found someone capable, Graha, but there's not much left for you lot to do. Unless you can conjure up that refined Adamite any faster. You are so impatient! Let's see, bonds of Adamant. Okay, sounds useful. Looked up over the ether burner. Yeah, we get it. Is this when we're going to be getting a really cool cutscene? I have a feeling we are. Ugh, I do trust you to deliver on your promise. I do, only... I hate waiting! I want that Adamantite and I want it now! We, share your impatience, I assure you. Is there truly nothing else we can assist with in the meantime? I wish. This sitting around's unbearable. Pity the form frowns on recreational explosions. This guy just getting greater and greater. I love him. Well, so long as they can't prove it was premeditated. Get you gone. I've mistakes to make. In that case, I suppose I should go and return the key to the reactor. I'll have one more look to make sure that nothing has gone wrong. Unintentionally or otherwise. Yeah, I don't trust him after hearing that. I'm sure there are better uses for your time, however. I will join you in the Charlene Hamlet anon. I just came from there! That does it. I'm just teleporting back. I can't take it. Okay, so we're back here, and where are the others? They gotta be around here. I'm guessing that's where the big group is waiting for. Wait here, your companions are bound to turn up sooner or later. Okay.
All set, I take it?
You guys have been missing for a while.
We finished what we could. Delivered supplies, tracked down escaped animals. Trivial tasks as they may be.
That's enough, don't you think? If there was anything more important still undone, that would be a problem in itself.
The vessel is essentially ready for departure. All that remains is to load the final batch of supplies and see everyone on board. Once we've readied the ether burner, that is.
Ah, Had a feeling we might find you all here.
Our consultations with the Loperites, too, have run their course. Pleased I am to say that our researchers' concerns have for the most part been allayed, though some insist on making adjustments to the very end. For their part, Livingway and her peers have graciously offered to stay and keep the people company, lest any lingering queries go unanswered.
All that remains is to wait for the refined Adamantite.
Fourchenault, are you there? It's me, Cryo. Your special delivery has arrived. Round up everyone and come to the harbor at once.
Okay, this is gonna be good.
Speak of the devil. Let us go at once.
Forgive the intrusion, Master Fourchenault. I bring urgent news. A great commotion has broken out in Scholar's Harbor. Your presence is requested, with all speed.
Now, where might this delivery be?
We have a huge crowd.
Oh.
Look at all that! Oh. And we have some familiar faces here, too. Oh, the Prima Vista's here!
I'm sure it's very important, but we cannot accept these without the proper permits.
Oh, just ignore her.
12. Surely, these can't all be.
Oh, it's the Red Bills! Oh, Sky Pirates!
Bleeding hellfire! They're bringing them by sea and by air. All these folks in these crates.
And more on the way. Got your Adamantite right here. A bigger haul than any of these sorry bastards brought, and that's no lie.
Yes, because you were charged with seeing the shipments from Gridania and Uldar here, along with your own. Give credit where credit is due.
Sounds like the sorry whinging of a sore loser. An hypocrite to boot. Ain't no way a scrawny whelp like you took a dozen steps inside a Adamant shard.
I'll have you know I went all the way to the entrance. And furthermore, 'twas my contacts that enabled us to enlist the cooperation of the Sky Pirates.
Left you outside so you wouldn't get anyone killed, did they? Well then, credit where credit's due. You did a right fine job sitting on your ass.
I think these two are a beautiful couple.
Make me.
I will not stoop to your level.
My, what a grand welcome party.
Hancock and Saraban.
We come bearing relics both sacred and Allegan, as well as a few other gifts that may be of help, to be presented with best wishes from the Eastern Alliance. Our friends in Bosnia, for instance, have sent along a few artifacts for the brave allies of the Resistance. That's you. And we brought a number of items from Eureka as well, courtesy of one Ejika Sunjika. He says a little advance warning would have been appreciated by the by.
I myself have come with a sacred relic of Rayson Temple. 'Twas passing fortunate that Senri's dango craving brought us to Kugane. We arrived precisely as Hancock was making his arrangements. Upon learning of your need, we made haste back to Hell's Lid, with our dango, never fear, and consulted with the other auspices. All consented to the lending of Tenzin's legendary Phoenix Blade for this noble cause.
Wow, that was not something
Suzaku and
we would have given up
Seiryu
otherwise.
were nevertheless worried that it might be lost in transit, however, and insisted upon accompanying me to Onokoro, where I had intended to entrust it to our Confederate allies. I thought instead to give it over to Hancock when we chanced to cross paths yet again. But alas, Seiryu remained ill at ease, and ordered me see the blade into your hands personally, or die trying.
We did, of course, need quite the impressive vessel to get it all here in time. Fortunately, our majestic associates have been more than helpful. 'Tis an honor to join the Warrior of Light on another adventure, they tell me.
Oh, we all of our friends! This is so great!
That is all wonderful to hear, but what of the extraordinary cost? I shudder to think of the ransom we must pay for such a bounty.
It's the fate of the world. I think they can go without it.
Fret not for your coin purse, young Alphino. Lord Lolorito looks ever towards the profits of the future, and thus the East Aldenar Trading Company went to some lengths to reduce the financial liability. And since the Scions funded the entire venture, not a gill need be rendered up in compensation. Everything is already yours.
Really?
We funded the venture? When?
Don't let the name fool you. This coin keeper knows a thing or two about spending.
She's dangerous.
When it comes to capital investiture, a sprinkling of gil here and there will not do. You need enough savings to make waves when it really counts, which is why frugality is paramount. We also had the benefit of a generous patron. Generous being rather an understatement. She has supported us from the shadows since the very founding of the Scions. We even had coffers to fill.
Of course! Oh, I love her!
Ameliance.
Oh, you just see the crush defeat in his
I
eyes.
remain, of course, an entirely neutral party. I simply thought our family's coffers were needlessly full. We can hardly take them with us on your teeny-tiny toy boat, now can we? And would be a shame to leave all that hard-earned wealth unspent.
Fair enough. I love her.
Waste not.
They're a bad influence on each other.
However did you manage so much in so short a time, then? We expected word to reach only a fraction of our allies.
Did I not tell you I have my ways?
Oh, it's him now!
You were involved too.
I received a letter from Cryo after we parted ways in Labyrinthos. She explained what the Scions were trying to accomplish, and why you might soon require the services of the Gleaners, spread across the world as we are. I pray you do not interpret this as a betrayal of Charlie. I accept that the Forum's aim in pushing us to our limits was to preserve what knowledge we have, and I bear you no ill will for it. Yet, in collecting that knowledge, what I came to appreciate most about our star is that there remains so much we do not know. That is why I chose to help the Scions, to combat the obliteration of those countless undiscovered wonders. I held no illusions that they would be less demanding taskmasters. Though, rest assured, if I had, I would have been sorely disappointed. To make a long story short, the whole of the guild ship cooperated to ensure your call was heard far and wide.
And they
What's this about a ship that can fly to the moon? And why didn't you mention it sooner? The one time you don't beg my aid, your problem's a bloody ship that can fly to the moon.
See it? You brought the team.
Of course. Garland Ironworks' finest. You need only point us towards my new favorite ship.
Oh, too bad the Enterprise is not going to be jealous.
Oh, I nearly forgot. We stopped by Whirlid before coming here and picked up a package from Gaius.
Of course.
He's still of the mind that actions make for better penance than words, contrite or otherwise, so we offer none of the latter. What he sent is an Allagan relic Valens used in his weapons experiments. There's a fair bit of refined Adamantite in it too.
As you like us not suspect, we've also brought Adamantite for Mordona's Dalamud Shard. I admit to some consternation upon first receiving Kryl's message. So few Scions remain at the Rising Stones now. Far too few for such an expedition. However, the Gleaners were able to secure us reinforcements. Idleshire's treasure hunters, not least among them. I know. Ah, the Gobbyflop fought. Slowfix's gratitude for the safe return of his daughter has not waned, and he gathered his kin to our side with an astounding quickness. The clash between their machina and the Allagan defences was a sight to behold. I wager even you would have been impressed by the magnitude of the Gobby booms.
We got so many friends and they're just tying it all together.
I fail to see how it explains your presence here. Does Razat not have more pressing concerns?
We do. Yet averting the final days would be the most expedient solution. That, and I am indebted to you. Though they chose to take their leave of Thavnair, those you saved in Galimund remain my people. My gratitude is beyond words. 'Tis appropriate that I aid you in kind. If in the doing we bring salvation to others of this star, so much the better. You will recall that I spoke of my father, Midgardsormr, and his journey across the great expanse. As he traveled betwixt the stars, his resplendent scales drank of the ether in those nigh empty surrounds, and imparted to him the strength to persevere. Thinking they might further your cause, I called out to my kin for consent. Ajdaya's answer was silence, as ever.
No, that's the
Tiamat and Hrisvelgre, however, responded favorably to the suggestion. My sire, too, stirred from his slumber long enough to speak and say, "Very well." Thus have I brought you his own worm scales. Fit them to your purpose, and seek a worthier fate for us all.
You'd be hard-pressed to find someone else so familiar with the unique properties of dragon scales. So I invited myself along.
Of course she did.
Bugger me, this is so unbelievable. I've gone right back round to believing it again.
Never heard it that way.
6% gain in efficiency. With all these goodies, we could get 7, no, 10, no, 14 bleeding percent.
Think of how far we could go. What we could do with that much power. What we could blow up.
Maybe we shouldn't leave him
If
alone.
Kokol is duly convinced, then it must be true. In which case, the Scion's end of the bargain has been fulfilled. Would you not agree?
Oh, come on. You gotta give them that.
Yes, Father?
I know not what you seek of Hydaelyn, nor for what purpose you would take command of our ship. Yet this much is certain. To do so will be to dictate the fate of this star and the lives upon it. The lives of each and every creature, in their magnitude and their fragility. Do you understand? And are you prepared?
We have seen and we have felt how much each life shapes this world. And so we are determined to abandon none. We understand what is at stake, and we are prepared to bear this burden.
Then I will bear it with you.
Finally!
I beg you, share your struggles with me.
Finally!
As family.
Finally got that chink in the armor.
You grasped my fingers with such tiny hands the day you were born. I thought my heart might burst. 'Twas love and happiness beyond expression. Overwhelming. And a conviction so powerful that I trembled with something close to rage. I had heard the final days foretold. I swore to myself then and there that I would not let them steal your futures. The great exodus would succeed, must succeed. No sacrifice or sin was worse than the alternative. If anything gave me pause, 'twas mine own father. The Archon Louisoix openly decried Charlian's policies, a perspective which I regarded with increasing disdain as I grew older. Yet even as part of me thought him a fool, perhaps I also hoped that he, of all people, would devise a brilliant means to save my children. A naive hope, but stubborn enough that I could never bring myself to keep you apart. No, that was his doing, when he perished at Fourchenault, as we pulled that twisted slab of Dalamud from the sea. I remembered the warmth of your newborn touch. Chastened, I vowed never again to suffer any interference in my mission to protect you. No matter that you yourselves wished otherwise. Detest me, fight me tooth and nail. I would suffer it, and more, and be satisfied so long as I could force you onto the ship. I was wrong. You two have grown so much stronger and so much wiser than I dared dream. You have earned the right to walk your own path, and already begun to do so.
Good. Because there are things we care about, and people we love, and none of them is replaceable. Not a one.
It cannot have been an easy journey for you to have come so far.
We shall be glad to acquaint you with the finer details someday, once this danger has passed. All that we have seen and heard, that we have felt and learned in our travels. Ours is not a kind world, but it is beautiful. Always.
Oh no. Are you quite sure that's wise? After all, someone turns pale and flees the room when he sees so much as an envelope containing word of your adventures.
Oh, she's got him on a short leash,
Whatever will
doesn't
happen
she?
if he learns what you were really up to.
Ameliance. Though I have wronged my children most gravely, I owe you an apology as well. I assumed that it was the Scion's influence that made them so keen to charge headlong into danger. Yours, in particular. I see now.
I knew he hated us.
Instead brought them together with the many fine people gathered here today. In which case, I hope you continue to guide them.
If we've finished loitering about the harbor, might I suggest we put our plans into motion? People are beginning to look confused.
Perhaps you can spare a few words ere they resume the tedious lugging of cargo. You have no small number of friends and admirers here, after all.
No, that's true. Oh, this is so sweet. Our moment of triumph is close at hand!
Your assistance is appreciated. Now, in an orderly fashion, if you please.
That ain't gonna happen. That was amazing. I love that. All of our adventures all condensed into one scene. How can you get better than that? Oh, and it was so sweet. My heart can't take much more. Oh God, I'm going crazy. I really am going crazy. Okay, what do we do now? We wait for the stupid load screen to load! You can't tell my cat's in here staring at me like I've gone completely crazy, and she's not completely wrong. Okay! I don't know where to begin. Time has come to claim our prize. Are you prepared? Oh, hell yes! If I never see another crate again, it'll be too soon. Well, they cleared that out fast. Unaided, we Scions could never have gathered such a bounty. Refined Adamantites, relics sacred and ancient alike. I find myself quite overcome. It just means we got more friends than before. Lee sent a letter along with Gridania's contribution. It seems she traveled there to aid in their Adamantite recovery. Evidently, journeying to Gridania was quite the trial, as was getting into the Dalamud Shard, as was reaching its depths. I suspect she'll have a few kind words to say about the Allagons when next we meet! Oh. Cannot wait to see what our friends from the Ironworks do with the ship. I had no idea how massive weight it was until he lifted it off my shoulders. And more importantly, his words were an affirmation that the path we walk is the right one. A part of me might have been satisfied so long as my family and friends survived the final days, but to save the star is what we all want most. And if those same people believe that I can help see it done, then who am I to say otherwise? Come what may, I will fight for this world of ours until the very end. I apologize for not informing you earlier of Erinville's involvement. He was something of a contingency plan. Thank goodness we had him and his fellow gleaners to hand, though. It would have been monstrously difficult to locate Sid and transport the Hainish delegation from afar. My throat hurts from directing so many people to Labyrinthos, but that only proves we got our money's worth. She's scary. We finally managed to clear the harbor, which means the rest is in the engineer's capable hands. Meanwhile, Father has issued to us an invitation. As we agreed, he will reveal the means by which Hydaelyn may be contacted. We are to meet him at Apora where we're ready. Given the vital knowledge she holds, I suggest we leave without delay. It transpires, however, that the Forum's method for speaking with her is not without risks. I'm curious to hear what those might entail, but regardless, be warned.
Most of those who arrive with the Adamantite have offered to stay and see to any remaining tasks that need done. The Forum has already asked for my assistance in overseeing the process, so you needn't worry about a thing.
Thank you, Tataru. We're off to Apora, then. Not without its risks. I'm quite concerned now. And I just looked here, and I'm just wondering, like, how many dungeons have we done already? Like, is this gonna be another dungeon? Oh, wait! In the trailer it showed, like, that road of crystal. Okay, now I'm excited and concerned! There, I have already shown the others inside. You will want to speak with Clarion. She has the key to the lift and can send you down after me. And he's using our names now. What do you know? He doesn't hate us anymore. But you think he could have at least, you know, taken the lift with us? That would have been the polite thing to do.
You with Master Fourchenault, yes? Just step inside with me?
Yeah, let's go. So, I think he's opening up to us. I think it's a little too soon to say that we've become friends or anything. From here, we proceed to the heart of Labyrinthos and its most closely guarded secret, Talmazuzen. It marks the beginning and end of our efforts, whence we diverge to seek audience with the star, and whence we will embark on our journey to the stars. This way, if you please. I get the feeling he definitely has more respect for us. Like, he acknowledges us as not the enemy, so it's gonna take a while for him to completely, you know, warm up to us. Because the fact is like, he really doesn't know his children anymore. It's been so long and so much has happened, he really doesn't know them. And at this point, the Warrior of Light probably knows both of them better than either of their parents. Ooh. Oh, I am liking this so far. Is this what I think it is? Is this really what I think it is? Oh! There it is. So that's the arc. I'm so happy. It's gorgeous. So sleek. So perfect. I bid you welcome to Theopolden. Direct your attention toward its center to behold the arc over which we have long labored. As you can see, it was designed as a medium-sized craft, the better to reduce fuel consumption. Miniaturizing magics have been applied to its interior to ensure that the thrust-to-weight ratio does not place too great a limitation on its freight capacity. The ether burner, as you know, has been removed for further modification, but we will reattach it soon enough. I've received word that Coco and several of your allies are working on it with the intense fervor. They are sure to see it done. It was by their expertise that many a prior disaster was averted. If anything, I fear they will not afford us much time for speaking with Hydaelyn ere they finish. Point taken. Let us move on. I must warn you again, however, that even with the benefit of our device, to treat with Hydaelyn is not a simple feat. I don't know what he means, but it's gonna be good, isn't it? I've done what I can to impress upon you the gravity of what lies ahead. Are you prepared? Oh, hell yes! Damn it! I can't go any further! Her children, one and all. Oh, I want to go, but I can't. That sucks. Alright, we'll just cut it there for right now. I gotta go level up, maybe do a costume change or something. What can you say? I just want to say that it was beautiful. It was spectacular. I love that cutscene. Like, all the side quests, like all the raids, then the trials that we've done before. Like, every old friend that we ever met on the journey had to be involved in this whole thing. Like, there was some from Alexander, from the Return to Evilise. What else was there? The weapons quest lines and everything. The Void Arc series. Like, you can't get better than that. And I loved all of that. So, everyone's gathering together. It's like, I think the only way it probably could have been better is if, I don't know, like maybe they all kind of ran towards the Warrior of Light. It was like, hey, we're here to repay the favors that we owe you. Like, you have, like, we all owe you a big debt. Like, you have a lot of friends who owe you a lot. So, we're here to pay you back. So, I think that would have been the only thing that would have been better. So, again, I'm going to have to cut it there. I was planning on going maybe a little bit further, maybe until we unlock the next dungeon. I'm pretty sure we have a new dungeon, so I think the dungeon's going to be, like, running around the Ethereal Sea. I don't know how that's going to work, but unfortunately I can't right now. So once Claire levels up a little bit more, that's when we'll go diving in. So until next time, everyone, thank you so much for watching. This is Fantasy Girl signing out.